Little Red Riding Hood, a tale of adventure and bravery. Once upon a time, in a quiet village near a dark forest, there lived a sweet little girl who always wore a bright red cloak with a hood. Everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood because of this lovely garment, which her grandmother had made for her. One sunny morning, Little Red Riding Hood's mother called her into the kitchen. "Little Red Riding Hood, your grandmother is not feeling well. I have packed a basket of goodies for you to take to her. But remember, stay on the path and don't talk to strangers." Little Red Riding Hood nodded, excited for her adventure. She kissed her mother goodbye, took the basket, and set off through the forest to her grandmother's house. As she walked along the path, she admired the beautiful flowers and listened to the birds singing. Suddenly, a large wolf appeared from behind a tree. He had sharp teeth and a cunning smile, but he tried to look friendly. "Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf said. "Where are you going on this fine day?" Little Red Riding Hood remembered her mother's warning but thought it would be rude not to answer. "I'm going to visit my grandmother who lives in the cottage at the end of this path. She's not feeling well, and I'm bringing her a basket of goodies." The wolf's eyes gleamed with a sly plan. "What a kind girl you are. Why don't you pick some of these lovely flowers for your grandmother? I'm sure they would cheer her up." Little Red Riding Hood thought this was a wonderful idea. "Thank you, Mr. Wolf," she said and started gathering flowers. While she was busy picking flowers, the wolf hurried down the path to grandmother's cottage. He knocked on the door, and in a sweet voice, he called out, "It's Little Red Riding Hood, Grandma. I've brought you some goodies." Grandmother, who was resting in bed, called back, "Come in, dear." The wolf entered the cottage, and with a quick leap, he swallowed grandmother whole. Then he put on her nightgown and cap, and climbed into bed, pulling the covers up to his chin. A little while later, Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the cottage with her basket of goodies and the bouquet of flowers. She knocked on the door. "Come in, dear," the wolf called out in a voice that tried to sound like grandmother's. Little Red Riding Hood entered the cottage and approached the bed. She noticed that her grandmother looked very strange. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what big ears you have." "The better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf replied. "Oh, grandmother, what big eyes you have. The better to see you with, my dear." "Oh, grandmother, what big hands you have. The better to hug you with, my dear." "But grandmother, what big teeth you have. The better to eat you with," the wolf roared, and he jumped out of the bed toward Little Red Riding Hood. Just then, a woodcutter who was passing by the cottage heard the commotion. He rushed in with his axe and saw the wolf about to pounce on Little Red Riding Hood. With one swift move, he scared the wolf away. The wolf ran out of the cottage, never to be seen again. The woodcutter then carefully opened the wardrobe, and out popped grandmother, safe and sound. She had hidden there when the wolf entered the cottage. "Oh, thank you so much," cried Little Red Riding Hood, hugging her grandmother tightly. Grandmother and Little Red Riding Hood thanked the brave woodcutter for saving them. They invited him to stay and share the goodies from the basket. From that day on, Little Red Riding Hood always remembered her mother's advice to stay on the path and not talk to strangers. She and her grandmother lived happily ever after, always cautious and safe.